rewind, go back into Tuesdays NXT, and then we can talk about Monday, and then talk about last Friday to preview this Friday,
Mhm.
and we can just do it like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's been a good week of wrestling so far.
Really good for the rest.
A really good week. So it's gonna be fun to talk about. Uh, and if you have any trending topics, please just bring them up on me on the pod. We'll discuss that. Any Twitter conversations that are going on?
Man, the
Because
Twitter conversation has been super heavy, man. Like honestly, like niggas has just been fighting and and honestly, like I put in a rant. You feel me? Like, can we have discourse without derogatory dialogue? You know what I mean? Like, shout
yeah,
out to alliteration right there. But like,
yeah,
honestly, like to be honest, I don't mind disagreeing. Like I live
yeah.
for that. Like I want.
I don't like. I love disagreeing. I think that's part of life. Is you just to see. Oh, okay, that's how you thought. That's how you think. You're firm in that stance. All
And
right, I
then
see where you're coming from.
and then it forces me to force you to like think, nigga. Like
Uh huh.
we just thinking about shit, we just saying shit, or we just doing shit. Like, is there
Uh
any
huh.
type of like behind it? You know what I mean? Because niggas would
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, I have no malice behind my actions." Okay, but do you have any thoughts behind it? You know what I mean? Like that. That's a question we need to be asking niggas.
We
So
do, we do, and a lot of people stem from. I know I can get this way too, where I stem from my feelings and emotions, and I go how I feel first, then I go to my mind, So I might think of something, I'll say something how I feel because it's authentic, that's how I authentically feel, but then I actually get a opposition, thought process, and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense, I see where they're coming from, and then I'll think about and I'm forced to contradict or challenge how I feel about something, and I might say, yeah, I still feel the same way, or I might be like, you know what, I was wrong, or I have a different understanding of this. So the discourse on Twitter, I think that's what Twitter should be, but it's become more toxic and just like, I'm right. I'm going to tell you why I'm right, and I'm going to and you're gonna have to deal with it, rather than it being a constructive conversation. Like if I get some attention on Twitter, I'm down to have a conversation no matter what. Like because I mean I'm not too humble to know that I could be wrong, or I could not have the right perspective on something, possibly, not likely, but possibly, But we'll talk more here, that's why we have this podcast.
shout out to just we about to kick right into it. It looks like the countdown is getting ready to go in 30 seconds, where the show's going to start. And we're gonna go right into what a lot of people think I hate, but I love this week. You know what I'm saying? I absolutely adored watching wrestling on Wednesday, and we're gonna talk about it in
Yeah.
just a few moments. Actually, we're gonna talk about it in five, four, three, two.
Ah,
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome everybody to another episode of Reasonable Wrestling. It is I, the Most High, with my tag team partner, CT, aka Chitty Bang. What's happening,
what's
nigga?
good? What's good? And we are the underground kings of this underground kings of this professional wrestling podcast game. If you don't know, now you know. Check us out on RW Podcast One on Twitter and find out. Check us out on YouTube, Reasonable Wrestling Podcast, IG Reasonable Wrestling Podcast, all the medias of socialness, and even on Facebook. So yeah, we're here to bring to you the week that was in professional wrestling from a reasonable standpoint, a reasonable take. And like Chris was just mentioning prior to the drop, we need to talk about the best show of the week. And the best show of the week thus far has been AEW Dynamite.
Come
Come
on.
on.
Yeah, me. I gotta give him.
Come on.
I gotta give him a bong grip for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Gotta
gotta
give
give
him the
him a
bomb grip,
bong grip.
man. Light it up.
Fire,
Light it up.
fucking bomb drop. You know what I
Light it up for
mean?
AEW. And here's the thing about AEW, man. And this is what I like about them. I said it on the Bangers last week. they have a potential to just give a great match at any given time, and to give the time it takes in the ring to actually tell the story out. And I think that this was one of their best shows of the year thus far, from top to bottom. We had the debut of Keith Lee, the Forbidden Door of Jay White coming out of nowhere. We had the great match of, you know, CM Punk and John Moxley versus FTR. We had Hangman Page and Lance Archer. We'll get into all of it. But let's start off with Book and Black, Keith Lee. Keith Lee is all elite. Man, did you see it coming, bro? Did you see it coming? I think once that 90 days was up, we were hoping to see our guy. And we've done Book and Black on Keith Lee for years, but we get to do it now for AEW. Take it away.
Listen, somebody stated on Twitter, I cannot remember who, but I'm going to give you credit by saying that it's not my original thought. Keith Lee should be the longest reigning AEW champion at some point in time.
So I'm pretty sure we can attest that this person was black.
I know. And hold on, let's start.
Black History Month.
Is this our first show, Black History Month?
Yes, this is our first. No, it's not. Is it? Is it? No, we had we had a show. We had last week. I think we subtly mentioned it, but no, it's Black History Month. So
shout out to AEW making what I would assume to be is going to be the prominent black superstar that we feel like a professional wrestling company can get behind, right?
Absolutely.
This is, and I'm not saying that he should skip the line because clearly, listen, we've seen Keith Lee have to wait his turn, right? But with that being said, there is no lost in the shuffle with this guy after he was just lost in the shuffle at his previous place. So with that being said, I know I talk a lot about Adam Cole and how he's used, but again, everybody's saying Adam Cole's good. Adam Cole even said that he's good. I think this is the time for them to kind of, we're going to talk about WWE sticking with their plan. Scrap everything and figure out how he's going to be in this ladder match, this upcoming ladder match. Keith Lee has to be on the prowl. We've been saying that since NXT. On the fucking prowl. He don't gotta be angry black man. He don't gotta turn into any of the other stereotypes or tropes that we fall into. But a determined black man cannot be fucking stopped, my nigga, and anywhere in the world. You put that fucking gimmick on Keith Lee and you let him hawk down whoever the fuck is holding that title.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think he should be the one to be victorious and come after the TNT Championship. However, I don't.
TNT Championship or the World Championship?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this ladder match? I think this ladder match is for whoever wins it goes after the TNT Championship. I could be I could be wrong.
Man, damn! I thought it was going for the world title. Damn.
I mean, I think it's a TNT Championship, but don't quote me on it. But I think it is. It's supposed to be Andrade because they're doing the whole thing with Darby and Sammy, Andrade and Sammy, and I think the Keith Lee's now in the ladder match as well. So they're clearly building him up, and I don't mind it because right now, talk about taking and biting and him on the hunt. Let's tell the story of him on the hunt. I'm not even against him losing the ladder match personally because Keith Lee.
He can lose this. I'm sorry. He can lose this ladder match for the secondary title. Keith Lee is main to play. Keith Lee is Kenny Omega, John Moxley, Hangman Page. He's that elk. Bryan Danielson. Like
John Moxley.
He's that elk. He's that.
He gotta see our guy Will Hobbs though. He gotta go through him, and I think that's where I would book him. I want to see Keith Lee and Will Hobbs go toe to toe, Hoss versus Hoss fight, and have him go through, Will Hobbs' own
Nah,
way to
that deserves
championship.
a bomb, Chidi. That deserves a bomb, nigga. That
Yeah,
deserves a bomb. Man.
Will Hobbs, honestly, one if super athletic in his own right, and we all know what Keith Lee can do in that ring. Have our two guys go at it, and and I see both of these guys as future world champions. I'm not sure if they're going to hold the championship for the longest reign ever, but I do think them both have potential. Now we talk about that main event player that AEW and diversity, they don't have main event players and all this stuff. He's that now, so there's not that argument is gone. And then we got Jade Cargill, who clearly looked great, and we'll talk about her in a second.
Bruh,
but she's getting a lot better. So
two black women killed it. Yeah, I mean, like
yeah.
star press that Shuri hit was fucking A1. You know what I mean, bruh? The switch that listen. TK, you ain't out of the doghouse yet, because again,
you still gotta apologize.
No fucking apology yet, my nigga. But when we look at, again, diversity isn't just black, right? You just mentioned Andrade. We see Mercedes Martinez and Thunder Rosa. We see fucking Sheeta. We see fucking. I mean, they're represented. They're represented well and very in depth with it. But when we talked about having a main event black player on that men's roster, we didn't have Keith Lee available.
We didn't have Keith Lee available. We didn't have a Spanish guy, Asian guy. We didn't have nobody. It was a bunch of white guys at the top. And I get where people are talking about. They want to see themselves represented at the top of the company. And rightfully so, But here's what AEW is. I would say with AEW, they're only like 3 years old. So, I mean, and they just picked out the best talent they can get. And you got to go with the hot hands who are already known. So, I mean, to get time to build up somebody who was a main event player that was black, it was hard to do, over the course of time when you have certain people that you're trying to get people to come to your show who are draws already. Draws like a Kenny Omega and a John Moxley and a Chris Jericho. They're draws already. At this point, though, bringing in a Keith Lee who was in WWE not too long ago, so they couldn't have him.
Correct.
Makes the dynamic shift at that top of the card. And I can't wait to see where they go from here on out. Keith Lee, I want to see him in Team Taz work. Him and Team Taz, have him go through Team Taz on his way to, then competing for the World Heavyweight Championship. Then you have guys like Wardlow who are also sitting there, who him and Keith Lee could work, and I think they will put on a great show. Him and the Murder Hawk. We just saw that Texas Death Match. Lance Archer, those big dudes that we want to see compete in main event style matches. So I believe that we're going to see that, and I think that now with the new coat of paint, Keith Lee has now been given a new lease. He's limitless again, and he can be shown to be limitless. And eventually, when he becomes WWE champ or AEW champion, excuse me, I think it should be as a heel though. But we can take our time to get there.
Whoa.
And that's my last take on Keith. I want him as limitless, bask in my glory, heel champion with the AEW, that big, shiny gold diamond-studded belt around his waist, but as an obnoxious heel.
I've been asking for a heel Keith Lee for very.
We've been booking black and heel Keith Lee for about 3 years now. So I know what you're talking about. So yeah, we'll see it. Let's see it. And he has a bright future in AEW, and I can't wait to see what they do with him.
Oh man, listen, man. So not even just that. Tell me what you text me about AEW before Keith Lee. Because I was, I had the kids, I had the exam I was doing. So I was kind of
I texted you.
Yeah, but you was like, listen, it's a match of the year happening right now.
I didn't say year. I said it's the best match of the week thus far.
Okay.
And then later on, but here's what they did. The show wasn't done yet, and they gave me another match that competes for match of the week in Hangman Page and Lance Archer. Shout out to Lance Archer, best I've ever seen him. man, honestly. But let's talk about it. You can remove the side
All right,
image,
bet. All right.
but let's talk about AEW. When it started with MJF cutting the promo about how he beat CM Punk twice in Chicago.
Uh-huh.
I thought, I loved it all, and I like where we're going with the angle. And now Keith, CM Punk is trying to get his victories back, but he was booked into a match where it was CM Punk and mystery opponent versus FTR. Now, I didn't know who it was going to be. It ended up being John Moxley. And when you have John Moxley, CM Punk, and FTR, a real thoroughbred tag team, go out there with Jake the Snake and Tully Blanchard and put on like a really stellar performance of interactions that everything made sense and had a purpose. Not only did the managers not outshine the action in the ring, but they added flavor to the match. It was awesome, man. I got to hand it to those four guys. Definitely one of my bangers of the week this week. It was tag team wrestling at great tag team wrestling this week.
And to to keep it a buck too, like Mox is not unfamiliar to tag team wrestling, and neither is Punk. So, and also shout out to Twitter. Somebody put on uh some side by sides kind of to like some callbacks to where when Punk and Dean was, or sorry, when Punk and Moxley was in the ring back in their previous employment, where did the back to back type of situation together, it was another kind of callback that they did that I saw, but for the most part, man, it was the Fossies was great. You know what I mean? Like the action was really good. The psychology was good. Like you got four top notch workers, to be honest, to just pretty much just go out there and be like, all right, yeah, we about to go ahead and do the thing right now. You know what I mean? Like it's time for us to go. I bet. You know what I mean? Like so
exactly. So I gotta hand it to those guys. AEW also gave us finally the breakdown of the
Inner Circle.
The Inner Circle, yeah.
Thank God.
So finally, we're getting that taken down. So I'm here for it. We get to see Santana Ortiz disband from them like I wanted to see from day one. Those two guys don't need to be in that group. Maybe the group has helped them. I don't think it really needed to.
Not at all.
I don't think they need to be in the group. I personally don't think they needed it.
If it's not with Eddie Kingston and then they don't need it.
They don't need Eddie Kingston either, honestly. In my opinion, they don't. But if they want to go ahead and link up the guys from New York, let's do it. I'm with it. However, let's do it quickly because I think that we want to see Pride and Powerful back in the tag division. Pride and Power from FTR had a good angle last year, but let's see Pride and Power versus Jurassic Express and see where that can take us. Moving forward. Like we mentioned, Jay Cargill, and her name is not Zeta anymore. I think it's AQA.
Yes, she give me 1 second. Let me make sure that we giving Shirley her correct.
It was a good match.
It was a great match.
Great match. And I think Jade honestly looked like the beast that she is. Like, and I mean that in the best way possible. She looked like an imposing force in that ring. She's getting better every single week, and we already know she has a star potential. So if I was booking, and obviously I talked about it in the past, I want to keep building Jade.
AQA, you're right. Yep.
Keep building Jade.
Yeah.
TBS champion versus women's champion, AEW women's champion one day. And if it's Jade versus Britt Baker, the two top women in AEW, I'm sorry, they are, as far as, all full package potential. I want to see that at All Out. So let's see if they can give that to us. If not, still give the match. If they're not, because Jay's undefeated right now. Jay Cargill
27-0.
27-0. So they're still building her like she's Goldberg. I love it. Get it to 100 wins by next fall, and then let's have a go at it. Britt Baker has held a championship all that time versus Jay Cargill. Can Jay do it?
Now, would you combine the championships?
No, I would have them defend both of them. That division doesn't need one championship. Yeah.
Yo, I say you would have them defend both titles.
And then obviously I would have them drop one of them through whatever,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
shenanigans.
yeah. For
But
sure.
yeah, I would have the champion, somebody holding up both. If it's Bray, if it's Jade, either one of them looks great with both of the championships,
No,
and then
I
has that
feel
run
you.
with it.
And you can have them because one title's on TBS and one title is, Universal. It can
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
So I like that. I like that. Now I'm also like looking at the show in totality for AEW, right? We look at Isaiah Cassidy has a great showing against Keith Lee, bumped like a motherfucking champ,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We have the great tag team match. We have AQA, right? Damn, I don't. I just looked it up and I just didn't. I'm like,
Then
damn.
we have Jay. Then we have Jay White appearing. You realize that was an accident
Yes,
by.
because Twitter fingers, nigga. Twitter fingers watch what they
Tony
do on
Khan, we
Twitter,
warned you
nigga.
about them Twitter fingers.
Told you
We
to watch
warned
what
you
you
about them
do
Twitter
on
fingers.
Twitter fingers, bro.
Yo, you over here, you're not. I guess he just can't help just being a wrestling fan, but you are a company like Lee. Just shut the fuck up and let us enjoy the show.
Let us enjoy Keith Lee coming in, and niggas had to let you know, like, bruh, listen, ain't no motherfucking forbidden door if they're a free agent, nigga. And that's why I be trying to let people know if you gonna equate shit to sports, you gotta bring niggas in that know. And Tony Khan, you in sports, nigga, you try to.
I get it. You want to hype your show. It was a great show, though. That's not what brought me there. I was gonna watch it anyways, but I was happy to see Keith Lee. Come on, I was huge, super happy. And then seeing Jay White just make an appearance just to be an asshole and fuck up. What's that tag team's name? Roppongi Vice.
Yeah,
That's cool. But I would personally like to see Jay White in NXT, and we'll get that in a second. But I talked about that on the bangers as well. However, that wasn't all there was to it. The main event. When I talk about the main event, boy, man, is Hangman Page making it hard to not fuck with this guy? I'm telling you, I've got to talk about Lance Archer because that was the best I've seen Lance Archer
for sure.
Entire career. I saw Lance Archer since he was in Impact. Saw when he was in WWE. We don't really talk about that. New Japan, he became the Murder Hawk, and shit was incredible. Shout out to Ivy with the same emojis. Appreciate it. But Lance Archer. But to have that, you styles make fights, and to have that other side of it with Hangman Page, and I thought that Daniel Bryan was bringing a lot out of Hangman Page in those matches, but maybe Hangman Page was bringing something out of Daniel Bryan because every single match Hangman Page has had, he's given it his all. I gotta say, as AEW champion, he may not be the most charismatic champion. He might not be the guy who everybody loves. He reminds me a lot like Bret Hart. He just goes up there and he wrestles his ass off. He goes up there and he puts on a show and he gives it his all. He's been bladed all championships. Every single defense, he's been bladed and he's come out on top. I gotta tell you, he has like a Bret Hart run right now.
I'm so glad you finished. I'm so glad you got that point crossed because what I'm trying to let you know is, we didn't talk about this. We didn't talk about this at all.
What?
But by you comparing Adam Hangman Page to Bret Hart, who came out there to steal the fucking show at night?
Shawn Michaels.
Yes. You're absolutely right, nigga. And what have I been talking about and clamoring for and telling you what needs to happen? It's the story behind it. Niggas know about it. If you know about the click, then you know about the shit, nigga.
Yeah.
It's going down, dog. And
Adam versus Adam.
Bruh.
Adam Cole versus Adam Page. I told you to give it some time, bro. You're always trying to hotshot Adam Page. Oh, get him away from Jungle Boy. Get him away from Orange Cassidy. All right, you happy now?
I'm elated. I'm I'm ejaculated. You know.
Yeah, I mean, he called it. He's like, he's going to be AEW champion. And this is what I like about AEW right now. There's so many directions they can go in because there's legitimate people that can hold that championship and everybody feels important. Whether it's a CM Punk, MJF, whether it's a Adam Cole, whether it's a Keith Lee, you got a huge main event roster. Kenny Omega's been gone for a minute, so when he comes back, it's going to be huge. John Moxley just came back. You know, it's popping right now. So like, and we'll see how they use their pieces, but they have a well-rounded roster finally. They feel like they really are on the same level of a Raw, SmackDown. It could be the best wrestling show in wrestling in a couple of years if they keep this trajectory, you know? And I'm really excited to see where this goes. And Hangman Page, give him credit because he's putting on a show every time he has a match.
Listen. No disparaging Bret Hart, no disparaging Adam Hangman Page. But when we literally, when he won the championship, we said, is he the guy? Right? In 93, Bret was the guy, but was he the guy? The guy that was the nigga that's taking over NXT right now. Nigga, he's been the guy for damn near 30 years, nigga. Like you like and ultimately, like and I don't want to disparage or take away from Adam Page's run. He's having great matches. He's telling great stories. He's putting it all on the line and sacrificing. And I know damn well that he's not just going to give that up, right? So if, like you say, that one championship thing, right? It's a lot of big dogs in AEW, right? It's a lot. It's, again, we just said Kiefer's there. We got Bryan Danielson, who I think wants to just progress the business. I don't think he necessarily wants to be in that, but I know Kenny wants to be.
But if John Bryan Danielson ever did become an AEW champion, I'm not complaining. Like, he's not somebody where I'm like, oh, why'd you give the title to fucking Goldberg or something like that? No, it's somebody who's like, all right, he still can do this, and he's still at a high level. So when you talk about the wrestling that I come to see and watch and giving it my eyes to, AEW is giving me what I want out of wrestling more than a lot of these places that I go and watch wrestling. It's just my opinion. They have great match quality and on a consistent basis. And not the storytelling has gotten a lot better too. So I see what they're doing with Paige and Adam Cole, you know, so I believe that this is going to just make it more exciting, you know, and if obviously you're excited about it. I definitely am excited about it. If this is the Brett Shawn versus of AEW, then hey, I'm here for it. Who's the best Adam, you know? And I want them to go all out, you know, and have some great matches. However, Adam Cole is never gonna grow. He's still a small dude. He has the charisma as every, you know, he has the charisma.
Member of the Short King delegation, I would not allow you to talk about one of our motherfucking masters. Okay? I would not allow.
I mean, he will be champion one day because he can talk his ass off and he can wrestle his ass off. I absolutely see him as champion one day, but I'm still, you know, I'm waiting for, you know, the MJF. I'm sorry because I know that reign is going to be something to be. It's going to be entertaining. You know, so there's a lot of places they can go. And I'm just excited for AEW. Shout out to AEW for having the best show of the week. Honestly, you guys killed it.
AEW had a great show this week, and I guess we can talk about the second best show that happened this week, which is kind of, well, it's a toss-up because Raw was really good.
Raw was good,
really good. But for the digestibles that NXT provided for us, right? Like the little. And I guess, are we doing Business and Logic with NXT before we review it or after we review it?
We can do it now. We can go into Business and Logic now and talk about it because this is going to lead into the actual card we have for Vengeance.
Okay, all right.
And when it comes to Business and Logic and NXT, clearly let's bring it back a couple of months.
Bet.
They were cross AEW on Wednesday nights, right?
Yes, they was.
They were across AEW on Wednesday nights. They lost in the ratings battle. And what did they do? They moved to Tuesdays, and they said, we're going to scratch it all We're starting all over, and we're going to rebrand this in a way that this is what we're going for.
Now,
And we got more color, we got more green wrestlers, we got more new acts with strong character and gimmicks, and they're going to keep pushing these guys out there until they figure this shit out. And guess what? Some of them will, and some of them won't. Business wise, long term, it could work out. But as of where we are in NXT, it's a little shaky. Braun Breaker is a huge star down the line, and he's holding that fort strong at the main card. But after, I wouldn't take him out of NXT anytime soon because you need that strong champion or that strong presence of I'm coming to see this person. He's a draw. Put it that way. Braun Breaker is already a draw. You need that in NXT, but I think he's holding the fort for people like me and you. And I think it's kind of like marketing towards a teenage demographic or early teen demographic as far as the show. And there's a lot of kids that come to the show here in Florida. So I get it, the revamp. But I think that it has potential because at the end of the day, it's still a wrestling show to me that actually puts on wrestling matches that are good.
So I want a few points that I want to pick up on. That first and foremost, when you talk about the business and logic situation of everything, let's look at the brunt of everything. We're already competing as a wrestling show for eyes. I can't compete and do the same thing. NXT and AEW were legitimately fighting for the same fan base. And we've always talked about how broad wrestling is and how niche wrestling is. NXT brought that niche wrestling fan, right? That right? They niggas use it as a slight all the time for NXT guys. Y'all performing for 250 people all the time. That's equivalent to a bingo hall, my nigga. That's a fucking school gym, right? That is an indie kind of situation that NXT adopted that they were going to lose to because at the end of the day, that arena, right? We talk about our niche fans. There's still thousands of them who aren't allowed to go to fucking NXT, who don't just want to watch it, want to experience it, want to be it.
Yeah,
because NXT doesn't tour, they're right. So that's
they're going to tour. I think after WrestleMania they'll start touring again. But they used to tour, And
they wasn't doing. They wasn't going like Raw, SmackDown, and AEW.
Brooklyn, NXT Brooklyn. So
those are pay-per-views. What I'm saying, what I'm saying, and that niche wrestling fan gets to see NXT every week in different towns instead of just having to watch it as appointment television. If I wanted to see that, if I wanted to get the feel of what AEW is or what NXT used to give me, I'm able to go see that in Chicago or in DC or whatever the case may be. I don't have to fight bots for fucking tickets to go to Full Sail. You see what I'm saying? It was terrible. NXT was a get though, but you had to be in Orlando, so it was very. It narrowed it down. So that's one thing out the way. Two things. The second point that I wanted to make was. To what you were saying, when AEW made themselves available and made themselves a player, as far as like you say, beat them in the ratings, we also got to take into account of everything that we said that was going to happen as far as business and logic went. Right on Wednesdays, USA is opened up because there's things that are now on Wednesdays that are more important than wrestling. On Wednesdays on TNT, things have moved. But what we're saying is AEW at the end of the day took that day, made that day theirs, and then told NXT revamp. And when NXT revamped, they didn't revamp and make a new version of the old shit. They really revamped.
Because they lost that market. They saw it. They saw that they lost the market to AEW. And fuck. All right, so what do we do now?
There's no need to compete for that market.
So they moved to Tuesdays, and then they changed it, and they said, you know what? We're going to make a younger kind of, base show. Because I mean, I always obviously Black and Gold NXT is still my baby. I loved it, and I'll still go back and watch it on the network. But what they're doing NXT 2.0, just like I said to AEW a year or two ago, let's give it time. Let's just give it time because it's at the place that AEW was a couple years ago. A bunch of fresh new guys who are trying to get over with new acts that may or may not work. And some people are working and they're swimming, like Carmelo Hayes is swimming, Braun Breaker is swimming, and some people are like, all right, we'll see how this goes. I don't want to name them, but Tony D'Angelo, I don't know, we'll see. I mean, you might like the guy. I mean, hey, maybe it's not for me.
He thinning out really quick, my nigga.
I mean, come on, talk about it, man. but not to hate on anybody, I just think that when I watch AEW, I come for the wrestling still, and when and there's a lot of noise right now around the wrestling, so it's easy to get lost in the noise, like all this fucking flirtation shit going backstage and all this, oh, you're my tag team partner. Oh, can you be my tag team partner? I get it. There's telling stories, but what I think that this is more than anything is like when you're putting your quarterback out there and saying, figure out the offense. If you make interceptions, go ahead and do it because you guys got to learn how to talk. Because everybody backstage is getting some time on the camera. Like there's a ton of new people getting time on the camera that I have never seen before. It's a good thing though, because in time I'll be familiar with them. And once I am familiar with them, they'll have a name that I either want to see or don't. They'll know what they got.
You'll have an emotion attached to them and everything.
Exactly. So we got to give it the time. When AEW started, I did not understand Orange Cassidy, and what I did say about Orange Cassidy, which is planning out, like I said, once this is a gimmick that can't last forever. Like it just cannot. But I get what it is because it's kind of genius to get if you're an indie wrestler who's not the mold of a wrestler, if you're gonna get over with an act and make $1 million, go fucking do it. So Orange Cassidy, Danhausen, I'm like, yo, you guys figured something out that worked, make your fucking money. But over time, do I want to see these guys? Oh, is it gonna be them taking the reins? No.
I never saw Danhausen wrestle a day of my life, bro.
I haven't either, honestly, to be honest. But they're joke gimmicks, even like Karen Q. Or she's doing her thing with Wendy Wu.
Wendy Wu.
It's a joke character on NXT. It's a complete joke. But it's actually kind of funny when she's out there doing all these yawn gimmicks and sleep shit. But I get it. It's for kids. It's nice. But is she going to be the next NXT Women's Champion moving forward? I don't see it,
AEW was like, shit, if you got a nigga that can kick with his hands in his pocket, we can have a bitch wrestle in her sleep.
It's the same thing to me, but it does get over. It's a character. And that's more than you can say about certain people who can wrestle but have no character.
Yeah, Becky Lynch even said that she wanted Wendy Chu to be the 6th member in the Elimination Chamber. So, I mean, nigga, it's getting over, my nigga. Like, it's getting over.
She said that. That's crazy.
She tweeted it.
She gonna sleep in the middle of the chain. Is that what she gonna do? She gonna have a pillow and a snuggie, and she comes down in a fucking onesie, yo. She wrestles in a onesie. Imagine that. Wrestling has gone, to interesting places in my lifetime.
Wrestles with the shit. Because back in my day.
No, it's interesting. I think that it's the same thing as when we had Head, Alice Snow. That's a little bit more, risque because we were, freaks at teenage boys and, but obviously, it's a joke gimmick. We loved it. Kai and Tai, indeed, like it got over, but it's Kai and Tai, and these gimmicks tend to last sometimes. Even Santino Marella, he's gonna be in the Hall of Fame probably, So if you do it right, you can really be an entertaining act. R-Truth obviously is
can we pause on that Hall of Fame right quick? I know you
okay. No, go ahead.
It's a trigger word.
Check out the rants, guys. Check out Reasonable Rant with Chris the Most High on Reasonable Wrestling on YouTube for his takes on the Hall of Fame. But my point is NXT is in transition period, like I've been saying for the past couple of weeks. And I think that they're doing pretty good. Shout out to MSK, Malik Later Injuries, good match. But I got to give a huge props to the Creed brothers and Grizzled Young Veterans. You guys tore it down on Tuesday. It was awesome. And we're going to see MSK versus Creed Brothers
Yo, and
in the Dusty Classic.
The Creed brothers gets it, bro. The Creed brothers get it, bro. Like I like them as a tag team. I mean, they're brothers for one. You know what I mean?
They're real brothers.
Yeah. I believe they're
Okay.
real. I think they're real brothers. Yeah. If
Because you
I'm
know how
not,
they be doing that Undertaker Kane shit, you know. But I mean, I don't know.
let me make sure that I ain't getting mixed
If their
up.
real names, like, wait a minute.
But I think they're real brothers. They're both NCAA champions. I think one of their brothers ain't never fucking been pinned in his wrestling career. My nigga,
Yeah.
nigga shoulders never touched the mat ever.
I like when Homeboy at the end of the match was like, "Yo, hold on, let me get this," and he just clocked that dude with a clothesline and pinned him. Like it was they're aggressive, you know, and that's what I want to see in NXT. I want to see
They're
some more.
young niggas, bro. One was born in '94, one was born in '96, bro.
They're brothers.
Yeah,
They're brothers.
okay, real brothers.
Good shit. You know, you guys have a future, honestly, and I know that you are a fan of Creed Brothers, but I gotta go with MSK still. MSK has held down the tag division for the last year, and I want to see them as the first 2-time Dusty Road Classic winners because I think they have they have to get the tag titles back, man. I think they have a lot more in the tank left in the tank going to in NXT. So come on, give me MSK and Imperium in a ladder match. That's what I want to see.
So I will say this. Dez is my real life. That's my name. That yeah, I mean, and shout out to my guy Zach. I love those niggas. Go try to get that bread, nigga. Go tour. Get out of Florida. Go see different towns. Go get that bread. You can win the Dusty Cup. I don't need you guys winning the tag team titles. How I would like to see the swan song for my niggas. This is how I would like to see the swan song for my niggas. They win the Dusty Cup, even though the Creed brothers they're going to be the next step. They're going to be the next Revival, Alpha.
But do they have do they have a team to go against that can hold
who Creeds?
Yeah, that can hold the weight.
GYV's there. Legado Fantasma is still there as a tag team.
All heel competitors, and they're heel too. I'm talking about a over tag team act. MSK is all they got in NXT. They're the only. Go ahead.
The Creed can.
I know there's a lot of great tag teams there.
I'm saying the Creed can flip. This is not baby versus heel right now. Diamond Mine is over like a motherfucker.
Okay.
But we're talking. This is my thing. This is why I say NXT is a little bit, it's narrow-minded because it's one group of people that will dictate that possibly we're not supposed to elicit those emotions maybe, but we don't know because the crowd is helping sway, right? I think realistically,
the crowd is booking. You saw them in the summit. They're like triple threat.
Nigga, what?
This is what I'm saying.
You can't give these niggas too much. You know what I mean? Like you gotta like these niggas. So I would honestly, that's what I was gonna say. I would like to see. This is how
Creed brothers go over and
Creed brothers go over because Legado Fantasma. I'm sorry. MSK wins the Dusty Cup. This is and MSK wins the Dusty Cup. They go challenge Imperium for the tag team championships, but I want it to be incorporated where Legado Fantasma wins the titles. I want a triple threat because MSK and Legado, I feel like, had one of the best chemistry matches that got underplayed because GYV was there and GYV and the MSK had great chemistry and then you come in, and then we have fucking Imperium, and then Imperium MSK can really wrestle and have a great. I just named off 3 champ. I don't know what they do. Do they have a tag team fucking turmoil match? They have where 2 teams shouldn't just be fighting for the title. And I get it. This was the tournament. Yeah. This is the tournament that kind of determined the number 1 contendership. But when MSK wins the titles, right? Say they win the title from Imperium. They've beaten every other fucking team. They beat every team. They beat GYV. They've beaten Phantasma. They've beaten the Creed brothers in the finals. They would have beaten Imperium for the. So who what do they do with those titles?
No, you got a point. But I hey, you might have it right now. You might have the Creed brothers pull this out. All I know is it's gonna be a dope match. I'm definitely gonna watch that. I wish I can get tickets and be there. Honestly, I was trying to get it this morning, but they're kind of completely booked out. So I'm really They go fast. They go fast here.
They get bots.
Yeah, I didn't know. Shout out to them. Both of these tag teams are awesome, obviously, and they're gonna steal the show probably on Vengeance Day. So I think you booked it, and it's happening. So let's get it.
And honestly, I booked it because I saw, they foreshadowed it, right? The outside when Diamond Mine was supposed to be a heel, but like it's really hard to be it. Listen, again, that crowd doesn't know who's a heel or who's a babyface because what is Imperium? A heel or babyface? Because them niggas be cheering the fuck out of them niggas, bro. You know what I mean? Right. So with that being said, that's why I want MSK to go hit the road. Hit the road, get different cheers, different audiences, different feel that vibe, my nigga. Take the loss and go get that pay bump, my nigga.
No, you're right. We honestly, I can see that happening, and if that does, I'll be happy for my guys, and see them completely rise. But I would like to see them in Imperium one more last time, though. That was awesome, man.
MSK versus Usos. I need MSK on SmackDown.
MSK versus Usos is fire. I mean, that shit would be crazy.
But Raw does need a tag team. You know what I mean?
Raw does. And speaking of Raw, the tag team division on Raw is being revitalized by a specific tag team. And I gotta hand it to Alpha Academy, man. Alpha Academy has been awesome.
You love you some Alpha Academy, bro.
I like Chad Gable, really. He's found himself. Sheesh. Thank you. the dude is awesome, man. And I think that they're getting the. Remember when I said it wasn't working for Alpha Academy? They put the titles on them. They put Arco Pro with them, and they put them in segments that got them over. And I'm like, that's what I wanted to see with RK Bro this entire time. Them interacting with another tag team and helping get over another young tag team, because Matt Riddle is already over. Like, he's been over for like a year, So like him and Randy, there's only so much you can do with them just alone together, having backstage segments and then building them as a tag team. This year, what they did with the challenges, I loved it. It's entertaining. It really got over with the crowd in Colorado. They were with it. All the weed jokes.
It was such a great fucking crowd.
The great inside joke. Great crowd in Raw. So all in all, it brought together RK Bro for me. It brought together Alpha Academy for me. And then they've been giving me great matches with Chad Gable and Otis versus the Street Profits. Go back and watch it if you guys haven't. It was a banger. And then Chad Gable versus Randy a couple weeks ago. So you got to give them props. They've been putting on good shows.
I want to bounce that and go back from there to NXT. Go back to NXT, right? So listen, Raw and NXT kind of have been on the same trajectory. You feel me? And shout out to the homie Righteous Reg. I'm gonna go ahead and shout you out. I saw your tweet. You was talking about NXT 2.0, and everybody's entitled to their opinion about wrestling because wrestling is subjective. You know what I mean? So I get it. And you said it feels like a sitcom. Listen, CT just said the shit looked like Saved by the Bell. I hit him up in the group chat and it was like, yo, this feels like a show about wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, kind of.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and it kind of is, but I tune out the show part of it. Me, when I watch it, I see Dusty Classic because there's still elements from it's still elements from Black and Gold that are still here in the fact that they're doing the Dusty Classic, and I love tag team wrestling. So that's just me. It might not be everybody's thing. I like tag team wrestling. So when the Dusty Classic comes around, I'm watching your show.
Carmelo Hayes has taken the spot of Redacted as being one of the greatest North American championships that holds our color. You know what I mean? The A champion. I love that segment of Carmelo.
Yeah, it was a good segment. I'm still waiting for that match with Grimes, and I think that's going to be good. But that act it's still working for me. The Carmelo thing. I think that he has so much accolade. He's done so much in a short time. But we're still trying to figure out who Carmelo is.
Well, he was working with MVP. MVP was working out with him. MVP's trying to get back on a rehab tip, but was working with the young gun. And I kind of feel or see or can envision how those two can really interchange.
Honestly, like a young MVP. That works for me. If he brings him into Hurt Business, imagine that. Or if later on they revitalize Hurt Business, or he just maybe doesn't work with Bobby anymore, he's just working with Carmelo, that would be ill. Honestly,
Hurt Business NXT edition. When my nigga
it's like
division. My nigga just trying to extend this shit.
The Hurt Business has expanded, to NXT. We see talent all over the place. We make money. It's a business. So it's a brand that's beyond brands. So I like. Listen, Book and Black. We're going Book and Black.
Don't give it to him, nigga. They'll steal it. Don't give it to him, nigga.
Her business is still active. It's still booming. Business is still booming, and they keep trying to fuck with y'all with your group. But I believe in the Hurt Business, and I still wear the tee. I don't give a fuck. I still believe in the Hurt Business, and they fucked that shit up. They really did, but it's all good.
But
going forward, NXT is making strides because I enjoyed it.
Well, I think,
and the Summit too.
I think also too, with the most part too, with it is opinions be damn about what it is. NXT is providing a platform that wasn't or isn't available for those people who are utilizing it, right? We talk about also 205 Live. They took away what used to be 205 Live in the Cruiserweight Championship. I understand that. But WWE got away from light heavyweight and Cruiserweight Championship a long time ago for the simple fact that Vince really didn't necessarily want weight divisions because he didn't want to pigeonhole a Rey Mysterio who won the heavyweight championship. You can't necessarily, right? And
not only that, he couldn't because it's a smaller roster, one, and you got to go with who's over. When a freaking Tyler Breeze gets over, you put him in the Fatal 4-Way match. Like, that's how, it works. Mind you, when all your guys are all small guys in the main event, that's all you got. These people that are over, you got Tyler Breeze.
It was Tyler Breeze.
Titus O'Neil.
Titles. You got me saying Titus O'Neil.
Tyson Kidd.
Nigga, Titus O'Neil is massive, nigga.
It's the tie that got me. It's the tie. Tyson Kidd and Shammy. That's what he had, and he went with it, and it worked because those are the people that were over. But I think that we're kind of, we're building NXT into something different.
And with that being said, too, like you say, as far as give it time, again, listen, everybody ain't getting the business to be a fucking grappler. You feel me? Everybody ain't Jonathan Gresham. Everybody ain't pure wrestling. Everybody ain't motherfucking Lee Moriarty. Everybody ain't motherfucking technical with it. Some niggas came in for the spectacle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some niggas ain't technical, some niggas is spectacle. You know what I mean? And again, the element of wrestling that niggas grew up on is entertainment, right? Rocky, right now, The Rock is the sexiest man in Hollywood, the richest acting man in Hollywood, has the most movies on fucking, and he came from wrestling, nigga. And guess what? He wasn't Bret Hart. You see what I'm saying? And that's no slight to Bret Hart, because Bret Hart, again, another cultural phenomenon. You on the fucking Simpsons, but again, the entertainment value of what niggas has came up on and want to emulate and want to kind of. We talked about Daniel Bryan on AEW. He talked to Mox and was like, listen, I don't give a fuck about no Orange Cassidy, nigga. I don't give a fuck about no Dan Hazard. I want to elevate professional wrestling. Okay. And these niggas that are on NXT are going to propel sports entertainment, right? The entertainment element of it. And listen.
And yeah, it's heavily on entertainment right now. And if you're not, if that distracts you from the show, I completely understand it. Because it did for me a couple weeks ago. But now I come to wrestling, especially when I'm looking for bangers, and I try to take from it what I'm getting in the ring. You know, and when I see like a Carmelo go out there with Cameron Grimes, I know I'm going to get something, so I'm going to tune in. When I see Braun Breaker and Santos Escobar go to Vengeance, I know these are two great competitors, so I'm curious to see how the match turns out. And not to mention, I think Braun Breaker and Santos Escobar has had a good story getting to this match. I really do. But when it comes to there's a lot of the young new acts trying to get over, and to get them over, they're putting them in skits backstage and packages and, you know, pre-tapes. And that's what you have to do. Yeah, they're green, but they have to go through it until they get it, you know? So that's what they...
I love we talk about character development, right? We got into this podcast to talk about character development, production element, right? We didn't necessarily want to be the wrestling review show. We wanted to talk about some things that film element, right? One thing I do hate about NXT, the cuts. My God, it's a lot of bam, and it's emulating Raw, because again, a lot of people are it's one fell swoop, right? Kind of situation. If my production will be the same thing that we've always said. Let the action sit. Let the action speak. Let the action actually be viewed, motherfucker. Like, I don't necessarily need to see facials. I don't need to see emotes from people who are not being
in the match. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I don't need to see...
They're trying to tell the story very much.
When Zelina used to be managing Andrade, we used to miss mad Andrade moves because they trying to see Zelina, nigga. And I get it. Just have a Zelina cam, nigga. Don't fucking take away from the action.
Put her picture in picture.
Nigga, put Zelina right here in the box like that, nigga. You feel me?
Yeah, but yeah, the cuts they do get in the way sometimes. I'm not gonna front. You know, there's different ways to go about shooting wrestling, you know, but when it comes down to it, I think they know what they're going for, and they do kind of want a Raw presentation, because guess what? These guys are going to be in Raw in the future, and they need to know how to freaking do that style. Absolutely. So that's what works for WWE. It's a different way of going about it. But if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it, because we all have the option to turn it off. We all have the option to, you know, watch what wrestling we do like, and the place that, like, I just gave a whole lot of props to AEW just now, because that's what I'm getting to right now. There's been times where I give a whole lot of praise to SmackDown, because at that time, SmackDown was the best thing. Right now, it's turning to be like, oh, AEW is where I'm coming to watch my wrestling because of the match quality alone. And at times, when WrestleMania kicks up and we have a bigger picture of what's going on then, I might be like, yo, that's my best shows. It's Raw or SmackDown or whatever it may be at the time that it's hot. Now, wrestling is fluctuating to me. You know, it's like where it's not now. It's like a la carte. Like you say, come get your wrestling where you want to get it. You know,
and that's all, and as logical and as reasonable as that is, my nigga, like, bruh, that's all it is. That's all it can, and that's why I say, well, we have the contrasting of what we like and what we don't like. What we, you know, we might like the same things, but like different things about what we like, my nigga. Like, true. And with that being said, like, let's have a conversation about that. But for niggas to just be like, so, and I was one of them. I was dismissive of AEW. Because at one point in time, NXT gave me everything that there was to have to fill my need for wrestling. I know we bitched about Raw, we bitched about SmackDown, Bobby showing his ass, Roman with the title. Don't nobody give a fuck about Roman. Whatever, nigga. We started the pod. Shout out to Brian Campbell again, nigga. I gotta shout out him every time. We started the podcast because them niggas said that Roman Reigns needed to come out
With
with
Hulk Hogan.
Hogan, nigga, because he wasn't getting over it, bro.
Like, no, we gotta talk about this. Nuts.
Absolutely stupid. Okay,
Uh,
but with that being said, like everything, like we say, it develops, right? And if we watch it long enough and change our perspective of it, because some of us are stubborn in how we receive things, you know what I mean? Like, this is not wrestling type shit, but I tell a nigga, you can't help me how you want to help me, nigga. You gotta help me how I want to be helped. But sometimes, nah, nigga, the way you receive help ain't how you necessarily need to receive the help, nigga. So you gotta break that barrier down. So back to wrestling, right? How you view wrestling, how you want to view entertainment, that's on you. But as times change and things are evolving and eroding, right? Because everything's not getting better, right? Some of the entertainment is disintegrating. So with that being said, you have to be keen to that and have to understand, like, okay, I can't even look at this intellectually. You feel me? Like I can't even view this in the same type of mind capacity because I'm wasting what value is there. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. It's all
And
what value.
Vince
It's
about
all
to have a great show, my nigga. Vince is about to have a great ass show.
yeah. It's all of a value you put on it. Like if you give a value to a show, then go out there, watch it, and give it the best set of eyes you can give it, and enjoy it for what it is. All you can do is take this card and look at it like, oh, okay, what matches am I going to be interested in watching, and then watch them. Because at the end of the day, these are wrestling shows. You come there to see people go on the mat, go into the ring, and wrestle. That's why I gave a lot of props to uh, certain types of matches. So when it comes to this show, we're getting a cage match with Pete Dunne. We're getting the Dusty Rhodes Classic finale, and then after that, I think we're kicking up the Women's Dusty Rhodes Classic. So I'll be right after. We're getting the Women's Tag Team Championship defended.
Yep.
We're getting the North American Championship defended and the NXT Championship defended. And if you have any type of feeling that you want to see these matches, tune into NXT, enjoy the matches for what it is. The stuff that's around it, the chaos around it, just silence it to you. Because if you watch wrestling as a whole, like if you're not like, all right, you're watching it as a whole show, yeah, you're gonna piss yourself off because you're gonna give too much stuff, too much weight, and too much credibility. It's just, you're gonna be like, why do they do this with this person, and why is this segment this long, and why is this person having this backstage? And it feels like they're rebranding it, obviously. So if you're expecting the old NXT out of the new NXT, then yeah, it might not be for you anymore. However, this is a good card. Santos Escobar and Braun Breaker are gonna have a great match, and I think that these are what Santos has done in NXT since he came has been ill from day one. Him coming with the mask and how he took it off, and he ended up being the guy who was we didn't know who was attacking Homeboy, and it was ended up being Santos. So I love the fact that he's taken went from cruiserweight champion to NXT to
North American champion.
North American champion. He didn't win it.
He
right?
held.
He held it.
I believe Santos was North American champion. Let me go check. Let me check. Let me go. Go ahead with your point. Go ahead with your point.
No, but he's going after the NXT championship now, and the act has grown the entire way. It's never like it never lapsed. It never was like, oh, Santos is just trash. No. Santos has always been fire every step of the way. So I think this is a great match for him, and I can't wait to see the main event. We talked about the Dusty Rhodes Classic, MSK versus the Creed Brothers. I'm going MSK. You're going Creed Brothers. It's gonna be a hell of a match. Carmelo and Grimes. We all know Grimes can wrestle, and we know that Carmelo's been having great matches since he's been in NXT. So if you look at it for what it is, the matches are going to be fire. Now, do I think that it's going to be any title changes? I don't think so. I think we're going to have the same champions after the show. I think that Gigi and Jocelyn, is her name Jocelyn?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they're gonna beat Persia and Indy. I think that they still got their thing going on with Toxic Attraction. and Pete Dunne, and I think Pete Dunne got to take this cage match. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah. Pete Dunne gonna beat that nigga ass. Pete Dunne gonna beat that nigga ass, and he gonna that's his swan song, and he gonna be out the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, bring Pete Dunne to the main roster, man. I really want Pete Dunne to come up, and I would like to see Pete Dunne and Sammy, Pete Dunne and Cesaro, Pete Dunne and Shinsuke. Um, Shit, even on Raw, Pete Dunne and AJ, Pete Dunne and Damian Priest. Uh, yeah, I think that this is going to be a good match, but I think it's time for Pete to move forward and come to the main roster, man. He's been killing it in NXT for years.
Yo, damn. I just saw. Damn. I'm sorry, niggas. Niggas took their I just saw a story. Niggas took their contract. Some NFL or some NBA player took his contract in crypto, and crypto not doing so good. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, you just hold it.
yeah.
Yeah, people are going to talk shit, but wait until that shit pops. I mean, it's a long term investment.
Yeah, I think the homie put like 26 million. He needed to. Russell Okung for the offensive line.
Wow.
The lineman,
Wow.
yeah, 26 million. I think he took half of his salary and put it in crypto.
That's yeah. I mean, here's the thing about it. That's not crazy to me. I think that's if if you're taking that risk, just go ahead. You know you can live off of a couple other million. You've never been a millionaire in your life. You have so the rest of it, you're still a millionaire, and you're gonna just invest that as if that doesn't even exist anymore.
Does exist exactly?
And if it goes and it pops, you just don't have to work, and your family don't have to work
Ever
for generations. For generations.
Yeah, they already necessarily private. You know what I mean? 13 million goes pretty quick. You know what I mean? But like, nah. But I just saw that because I saw crypto took a dive. So I'm like, damn. I wonder if his money if he pulled out. But like, he's pause. But niggas, if you did that long term, like that's a long term investment.
It's all about what you believe in. You gotta treat stocks and crypto like how I treat the Jets. You either buy in, like you stick in until it pops, and that's exactly how you gotta look at investing. This is a stock podcast, but if you want to invest in your stocks as if they're your favorite sports team, you're either a ride or die, or are you a Fayweather fan? Because you'll lose a lot of money if you're a Fayweather fan. You stick with it. If it loses, you might lose big.
Yeah, that's a reasonable take for reasonable wrestling.
Reasonable take, yeah. But back to wrestling. What do we got?
Shit. We touched a little bit on Raw. Raw had a couple bangers back to back weeks. We said, "Hey, listen, this is what I want to say real quick before." We ain't gonna end it right now, but before this pod end, I have to say, AJ Styles is the best wrestler in the world right now. Hard stop.
Woo! Best wrestler in the world.
In the world, there's not a wrestler in the world. Sorry, Seth. Sorry, Will. Sorry, Kenny. Sorry, John Moxley.
We just gave mad praise Adam Hangman Page right now.
AJ Styles is the greatest and the best wrestler on the planet right now, bro.
He hasn't had a.
He has name me his last mediocre match, not bad match.
His last mediocre match was anything he did with Omos in the tag division.
Nigga,
so that was not too long ago.
Hold on,
that's what I'm talking about.
That was either bangers too, nigga. Omos and AJ versus RK Bro, bangers, slappers, move the crowd, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Now,
I guess. I mean, that's not for me.
AJ Styles as a single competitor, nigga, is not a miss.
And no, absolutely not. No. He didn't miss a single miss. Last week. I just gave him hella props on the bangers this past week. With this match with Austin Theory, and then he came back and doubled down on Raw with Damian Priest.
No, triple down, nigga. He had a match with Austin Theory. Then he had that was on the bangers 2 weeks ago. This week's banger from last week, he had a match with Rey Mysterio on Raw.
Mysterio, yes.
And then he came back and had a match with Damian Priest, man.
You're right. That is true. Damn.
And he went to NXT and had a banger with Grayson Waller, nigga. My nigga AJ Styles has put on a month of fucking like.
No, he has.
And niggas ain't had him yet.
No, here's the thing. There is the argument to be made, so I can't hold you, man. And obviously, wrestling is subjective, but best wrestler in the world is always an ever-changing thing. And so you got an argument right now in this very moment. AJ Styles might be the best wrestler in the world over the past 3-4 weeks, on a consistent basis, But Hangman Page since the beginning of the year has had great matches after great match after great match after great match. So I gotta, he has an argument to be made on that as well. We got the people like Seth Rollins has been having good matches, but yeah, like AJ, Hangman, who else would I put in that decision realm? Adam Cole still, I think, has been having great matches. So yeah, I'll put them all up there. Brock.
Raw. Listen, another thing I want to tap on Raw before we get out of here. Stop putting the mic in Bobby's hands, bro. I think this is why we kind of figured out why Bobby ain't never like break through what, bro.
Have I been boosting him too much? Boosting Bobby? I think he's great. I think he's a great talent, and I think that he is. But is it the talking that really just?
He's an absolute bro. He's more than a great talent. He's an outstanding,
yeah,
like once in a generation talent. But that nigga talks like an elementary student.
It was a bad promo on Raw. He's had other takes. He's had other moments, but yeah, that wasn't his best night.
Listen. He needs. A lot of people don't have that freedom, right? And they're trying to give veterans the ability to kind of have, but give him a script. Give him menacing. Brock, I'ma beat your ass and leave it there. You trying to get this nigga 3 minutes?
You know what it is? But I think they are giving him a script. I think that might be the problem. Is that when I saw him on After the Bell and they took that clip and they put it on Raw because it was him saying, "Yo, I'm embracing the challenge of Brock Lesnar." He just was talking regular. That's what I want to see from Bobby. I want to see Bobby talk like he is a UFC fighter that beats people for a living. Just talk. I mean, you don't gotta do it. You don't gotta be a Floyd Mayweather. You don't gotta be a Mike Tyson, but you gotta be a fighter. Talk how you present yourself, how you talk. And with the suits, like he came out with the colorful suit, like Usman. I loved it, but you gotta come out there and have the promo.
He did look like Usman. Why nigga did look like?
You gotta come out there and you gotta perform on the mic to really bring the whole thing to get together. But yeah, right now he is WWE champion for a reason, though, and I fuck with him. So at the end of the day, hey, he had one bad promo. So what? You got people like
one bad promo, man. Bobby ain't been able to talk for a minute, bro. Why you think they keep putting niggas with him? MVP and they had to put Leo with him. You know what I'm saying?
when it comes to the microphone, I think the approach with him shouldn't be
microphone checkup.
We're going to tell you to get these lines that we wrote off. I think that he can come out there and talk and say, listen, this is what we're trying to get off. Sell the match. Go out there and talk from your heart of where you see this match going or why you're WWE champion or, and not trying to portray something that they wrote in the script. Just go out there and be yourself. And when he was with himself on After the Bell, he cut the best promo he's cut. And it was not a real promo because it was just him talking. So that's what I'm saying. That After the Bell thing with Brock, to me, seemed like he could talk. Like, it's not like he can't get thoughts together and put it together in a way
I'm not saying
sells a match.
Elementary niggas can talk. I'm just playing. Let me stop because Bobby beat my ass. Listen, Bobby, listen. I'm not gonna hold you. If I saw Bobby Lashley in this fight, like, man, he the greatest talk I ever heard in my life, nigga. Like, you Martin Luther King, bro. Oh my God, it's a lot. Nigga, you talking?
He's
I hear
smart as
you come out here like a preacher, dog. Like you be speaking to me, my nigga. But all right, listen. Bobby, Bobby,
Bobby, man.
Bobby's fantastic. Again, fantastic right now, and he's doing fantastic right now. And my thing is, listen, I was high and I was looking. I thought Elimination Chamber was this Saturday, but it's not. So I was ended up looking at the card while you was talking. So if you saw me like just zoned out, I was looking at the card. And so we're talking Raw, right? Raw has the Elimination Chamber match, which kind of all Raw superstars. We got Bobby, Seth, Austin Theory, Riddle, AJ Styles, and then Brock's in it, right? And then the women's Elimination Chamber match is also Raw women's with Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Doudrop, Nikki Ash. I was thinking, since Brock Lesnar won the Rumble, do you think Ronda's the last competitor for Elimination Chamber, or is it Liv, or is it Alexa Bliss?
Ronda?
Ronda at the Chamber.
For what reason?
Because the winner goes to wrestle Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 38. Brock said that he wanted to win the title from Bobby and go champion for champion. So my thing is, if they're fucking going to unify it, what if Brock does win at Chamber and is Brock Bobby champion versus champion? And what if Ronda already announced herself to face fucking Charlotte and they run it back with Charlotte, Becky, Ronda triple threat for the unification of the women's title?
If listen, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I just want Becky and Charlotte in a one-on-one match at some point. That's all I want. You know, in a one-on-one angle.
Becky and Charlotte in a one-on-one?
No, I'm sorry, not Bar. Excuse me. Becky and Ronda in a one-on-one angle at some point. Because honestly, that's what the fans wanted. We're getting Charlotte in the space where I feel like Charlotte doesn't need to be. So it's okay. I'll take it if you want to run it back because we're getting Becky interactions with Ronda again. However, here's how I see WrestleMania playing out. Charlotte, Ronda Rousey, Becky, Bianca, and they got Sasha Banks doing something else, on the main card probably. And then everybody else is probably going to be in the Battle Royal or on the pre-show in a tag team match or something. So that's how I see it playing out, and it's a shame because I don't think. Hey, go with your plans because we'll see how it goes with Ronda and Charlotte. However, I'm not super intrigued with that angle at this point. And if maybe by the time WrestleMania comes out, because right now it's in the middle of February, we got a long time. You got a long time.
I'm not intrigued with the angle, but would you be intrigued with the angle would you be intrigued with the angle if Ronda won the Rumble and then won the Elimination Chamber match? Now I know she would have bumped off all 5 women from Raw to go and then hold the title.
No, I don't think that is what I want. I mean, maybe I'm being spoiled or something. I just think that Ronda should do one thing, and if you're gonna do Charlotte, fine, build that angle for her on SmackDown, and then have Becky do her own thing, and we'll figure out when we get that one-on-one match down the line. I just think that Charlotte is stale. You know what makes her interesting again? I guess Ronda, but then Ronda can't talk. So then it's like, all right, so now we're stuck with Charlotte, with somebody who can't talk and just waiting for the match to happen for about a month and a half or 2 months. So I don't want to see it.
So Bobby wins the title. I just said Bobby can't talk. We got MVP, so it don't necessarily matter who wrestles Bobby for the title.
Yeah, he got me. Give Charlotte something. I don't get why Ronda's choosing Charlotte. I don't get it. I don't get it. It should be Becky Lynch, the last girl who pins you. It doesn't make any sense. So and Charlotte should be working at this point with a really young upstart woman wrestler to give her a shine again at WrestleMania, or give her somebody that she's worked with in the past that she's very familiar with, like Sasha. And that's what I'm seeing as the best match for me, in my opinion. But hey, we're getting Charlotte versus Ronda. Charlotte's the golden child. Ronda's, the crossover appeal star. Try it again. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is what you guys wanted. Finally, go fucking have fun.
Well, you wanted to talk about what guys wanted. I'll tell you what guys wanted. This is what niggas wanted right here, nigga. We got Goldberg and Roman.
It's going down,
nigga. Do you give a fuck?
No. And that's it, guys. Just reasonable wrestling. No, that's it. That's what I gotta say about that. This is what they booked for WrestleMania 2 years ago. We didn't get it. It's a stopgap match at Elimination Chamber. I'm tuning in for the Raw Elimination Chamber. So we all know where this is gonna go. Roman beats Goldberg with a Superman punch and a spear. And let's move on to WrestleMania, where it's Brock versus Roman, title for title. That's where I see things going, and I'm glad that Goldberg gets to have his career ended finally in a title match with a guy who has the same move as him, so pass the torch. I mean, Roman took that torch, but hey, if you want to go ahead and go out on this last match Elimination Chamber, you had a great career, Goldberg, and more props to you. And that's the only fucks I care about this match.
Now, my question to this is my thing to this is shout out to the homie Rich, who gave us a great comment on the YouTube joint last week about it. It's exactly what you said. It's a stopgap, and necessary. Shouldn't nobody. We had the conversation about it last week. We can continue about it now. Listen, should we care as much about Saudi? Yes and no, right? Because the things that are happening when the cameras are off are still happening, and the perpetuating of propaganda that is proposed when we put those cameras. You feel me? You feel me? Like when you put the women in there with the breast cancer championship and the kids is enjoying wrestling, right? We know that for that slim time and slim portion of time that them niggas are not doing some shit that we don't fucking agree with. I can understand that. But on the wrestling side of it, Saudi has never really necessarily disappointed. They have always brought you there for something.
I think the shows are wrestling shows. And
it's a spectacle, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it is a spectacle, and they like their 90s acts, so bringing Goldberg makes sense. If it's going to be at any show, it will be this show where they bring back Goldberg, somebody who they recognize from the 90s. They might be drawn to buy a ticket because Goldberg's name is on the bill, put it that way. And I get the business behind it. So there you go. Am I coming to Elimination Chamber to watch this match? Not necessarily.
No,
I give it more props because I'm not gonna lie, Goldberg and Bobby wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So I want to give Goldberg a little bit more props. But as far as was I clamoring for this match ever? No. I've never at one point, even back 2 years ago, I wasn't really caring about seeing this match. But that's me personally. I know that Goldberg is a huge name, a huge star in wrestling, and I think that he's gonna, have his final match in Saudi Arabia, where he's had, his moments of having one of his worst matches. But hey, you get to redeem yourself now. Go out there, have a good one, and let's go. Let's move on to WrestleMania after that. I'm going for Elimination Chamber. I can't wait for that match. That's the match I'm looking for.
Listen, Elimination Chamber, I'm going to read you the card so far, right? This is the card so far, and I'm going to take these old-ass niggas now. The card so far is, I told you the Chamber, Bobby, Brock, Rollins, Theory, Riddle, AJ. I don't give a fuck. That shit going to slap, nigga. That shit going.
That's what I would have booked. If you were to give me the pen, I would have booked this Elimination Chamber match.
Bro, this shit gonna fucking go overboard, nigga.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about my expectations right now. They through the roof. This is what I'm going to the fucking shit for. I don't give a fuck. Usos, Viking Raiders, those are you talk about the tag team specialist stuff that happens on AEW. If this is able to get some time, this is gonna be another good match.
Absolutely.
Lita and Becky Lynch. Nobody's complaining about Lita coming back.
No,
Everybody's
actually,
complaining about
I like,
Goldberg.
I like it. I like it, man. I'm interested to see what she can do. She still looks great, and it's funny because I thought to myself like, being Edge, backstage and seeing Lita, you're like, that's my old thing. I know he got to be thinking it because I know he has a wife, he got kids, but he's thinking like he got to be thinking like, yeah, she's pretty badass because Lita's fucking cool, man. When she comes out there, she's never lost her cool factor. So it's like,
but that's the thing about Edge. Edge. I can guarantee you this. Edge is thinking, I ain't never fucked no basic bitch. Like that's what he like. Edge probably like, yeah, my shit's golden around this motherfucker, nigga. Because you say that about Lita when his current bitch music go off. That shit go crazy too. You know what I'm saying? So Edge is probably like.
He marries her, but Lita's exciting, man. She's just different vibe. That's what I'll say. And no matter how old she gets, she still got the vibe. That's what I'm trying to say. But
she still got the fuck factor, is what he's trying.
That's not even it. I ain't saying nothing like that. But hey, she's still cool. She got the vibe. She's now in a match with Becky Lynch. I did not expect it. Listen, Lita, you're a legend. We respect you as a woman and performer on this podcast. You're great. Absolutely. So what I'm trying to say is Edge gotta see it. Come on, Edge gotta see it. I know. I've been around old things, old flames, and like, damn, she look good. She still look good. I mean, we're men. Let's be real. But I'm excited for the match. I'm not like saying like this is what I'm coming to the show for. But her and Becky, like, it's been a good angle. The promo was good. I like what they're doing. And if we're giving Goldberg and Roman, bringing back Lita from Elimination Chamber, bringing her to Saudi to have a match. They're both probably gonna be head to toe in the freaking Spider-Man outfit or something.
Lita ain't out no thong. I can tell you that. Like, ain't no thong action.
No thong action out there, but I'm down to see the match. Put it that way.
So yeah,
and she hit the moonsault perfect. So
Elimination Chamber is a good show. And SmackDown is not really offering a lot to it. I mean, they giving us Usos and Viking Raiders. You know what I mean? But that Drew Madcap Moss, I ain't really feeling it. I mean, well, they got Roman, so whatever. You know what I mean? But it's gonna be a good show. SmackDown right now, I think for the most part, SmackDown right now is just lagging and dragging along. Right? It's the big dog show. We just trying to get the big dogs. Meaning Charlotte's a big dog, right? She don't come down. You know what I mean? Roman's a big dog. They don't come down, right? You got to come up to them. You feel me? So Ronda's being that person. Ronda's being that person. Goldberg being that person. Brock being that person. Like, that's heavyweight shit. You feel me? Like, that makes it heavyweight. And that sometimes that shit's boring. Heavyweight shit's boring. So you got to find shit in the margins. We about to get.
Sometimes the undercard is where it's at.
Sammy and Shinsuke tomorrow, baby.
Yeah, Sammy and Shinsuke tomorrow. So I'm definitely down to see that. Hope they get the time. Give them the main event, for goodness sake. Give them the main, because that's what I want to see. Give them the time to have this match, and I'm here for it. And give Viking Raiders and Usos time to build their angle. Obviously, Goldberg and Roman sells itself. You don't really need to give it that much time. Charlotte is not doing anything in this chamber, so just have her, do something backstage. I'm looking forward to the show. I'm gonna tune in.
We got Charlotte Naomi.
Oh yes,
we got Charlotte Naomi
for the women's championship.
I want Naomi to have a great outing, please, and a great outing that gets screwed over, so she can have her match with Sonya Deville at WrestleMania. That's her story. That's fine. I'm absolutely fine with that because it's actually something that I'm invested in. It's actually something that they build and put time in. The crowd is behind it. Even though she got the win on SmackDown, she got screwed over on Royal Rumble. If she screws her over from this title, win, say she has a good comeback, boom, boom, Fossey, comes back and gets, and Sonya pulls the ref out and then puts the jacket on so she can't hit her, and Naomi said, fuck that, boom, and knock her out, suspend her for a month, come back.
Yeah. Have Naomi attack her arm. No, they gave all the heat to fucking Ronda because Ronda obviously has a weird relationship with the fan base. So they gave all the heat on Sonya to Ronda. I still am down to see Naomi and Sonya tear it down. So if Sonya, I want Naomi to finally get her comeuppance officially, finally get the last word on her. So we'll see how it goes down. If you want to hit her, like have her put on the jacket and she hits her and then she gets suspended, I love that. That's perfect.
Shit. Anything else for the? Before I leave, I know Matt Cardona blocked us. You feel me? I understand. You don't fuck with us. But I do want to say you had a really great match and made the bangers. You and Jordan Grace for the Digital Media Championship or whatever the fuck that shit is called. But y'all had you're a worker, bro. Like nobody want to say like I ain't finna disrespect you. Like you're a worker, bro. But like, do I necessarily care about the GCW shit or you being cut or anything like that? You had a great WrestleMania moment. I wish you would have held that championship just a little bit longer. You and Miz could have had a really great storyline, bro. I'm not saying none of that. But what I'm saying is, listen. This is my compliment to you. I care about you more than Sean Spears.
You called him Matt Calzone. I mean, there's no coming back from that. That's it. He said, fuck these guys. It's just over.
Had that nigga and everything, nigga.
Blocked. So what? I mean, I didn't see the match, but hey, shout out to them. Gordon Grace and Matt Cardona.
Oh man. Yo, you wanted to bring up the Jay White shit before we get out of it. Before I want you to get that.
Yo, Jay White, what's going on, man? I book you 1 week in the bangers to go to NXT, and you show up on AEW the next week. You're fucking with my booking plans, bro. And Tony Khan, you're fucking up everybody's. Just figure out what the forbidden door is, goddamn. I want to see Jay White, God, and Chris Bay, Mr. Finesse, show up on NXT. That's the forbidden door that I'm trying to see. That's what I want to see. And if you add that to NXT, because AEW doesn't need nothing right now. I'm dead ass. Like AEW, you good. You don't need to sign nobody else for some time. Just work with what you got.
They really don't need nobody else, honestly.
They don't. First, I know there's a lot of people that are available to come in. Just keep doing what you're doing. WWE, NXT, I'm telling you, Bullet Club came to WWE. I think that would be an injection of complete swagger, attitude, and just coolness to NXT that I think is lacking at the moment. And come on, you can't tell me that wouldn't stir the wrestling world on fire and really heat back up NXT 2.0.
Listen, Jay White, Finn Balor. I need that match. I want that match. I need. Oh shit, nigga! I'm tripping. Shit, nigga! You saw my eyes give. But
where do you get that match? Finn wasn't even at the Rumble. Think about that. Does that mean that Finn need to leave?
If Finn leaves, Finn goes back to Japan. I don't need Finn in AEW. Finn will make me go back to watching.
Finn is not going to Japan. Finn is going to AEW if he leaves. I'm telling you that right now. Finn is not going to Japan. I think he might travel every now and then, do Forbidden Door stuff back and forth. I think that Finn has spent the last, I don't know how many years in America, and I'm probably sure he's dating somebody and married. Okay, he's married. Got a so. You think that he's gonna go to Japan and stay there at this time of his career?
I mean, I was
I
honestly.
mean, I don't know, but
My thing is, I would like to see. I mean, Finn. The reason why I say that is again, we just said AEW doesn't need anybody. So if like
no.
Finn goes and does like a couple matches, does a stint there. But I think going back home and being Prince Devitt, right? He was the junior. He's never won IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
That's true.
You
That's
know what I
true.
mean? Like for him to
Going
go
back,
back
that'll
into
be
a
that'll be
full
exciting.
circle.
I gotta go back and watch him over there in Japan. If he goes, if Finn goes to Japan, we all look following Finn out
He
there.
was a hell of a junior, bro. Like a hell of a junior. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for him to take that star presence, to take that build, to take that name, to take that back, I want to see him, Okada, in IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and then because Okada and Jay White was there, that would be how I get that.
That'd be ill. And this is all fantasy booking. Obviously, we're having fun with it, but I still believe that the spot to have that match would be NXT, man.
NXT.
Yeah, yo, I'm telling you, Jay White comes in, does this thing with Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker needs some help. Suddenly, the Prince is back. And he's there to come to the save. I think then billing Finn and Braun Breaker after that would work. Finn fits more for NXT than he does for the main roster. Over the past times that they brought him back, all they did was shit on him, pretty much. They don't know how to use Finn on the main roster. I mean, they just plug him in place. They fucking had the Demon just pretty much ruin the Demon angle, have him loose Roman with some shitty fucking finish. Put him back in NXT where they can produce him well.
That's not broke, man.
Shit is whack. And he hasn't done shit since. He hasn't done a goddamn thing. They didn't even want to put him in the Rumble. He's lost Austin Theory. They don't see him in that light anymore. He's lost that Universal Championship luster, I guess. Put him in NXT with Jay White. And immediately, that you're going to be tuning into NXT every single week for Finn, Jay White, Braun Breaker, Carmelo. You got all these people then. You're building a roster that, people want to see. And you still got MSK in the tag division. If they want to come up, that's cool. You got a budding tag division with, Creed Brothers, Idris Anofe, and Malik Blade. You got grizzled young veterans. You got all these people who are talented wrestlers. What I'm trying to say. But adding that injection of the Bullet Club with Chris Bay, G.O.D. in the tag division, and Switchblade in the main event scene, it just brings it full circle to me. I think it's like where AEW's are, like it seems like a full plate. I want NXT to start feeling like a full plate.
And you fill that out with you think you bring in like Dolph, AJ, Finn, them niggas come
after Dolph leaves. Yeah, bring Finn down. Yeah, I would say Dolph does his thing and then bounces. Which I think he had a great showing in NXT.
You say Santos and Braun's about to put on the banker. Dolph and fucking Braun's gonna be a killer.
Okay.
Dolph's gonna teach that kid.
We know what he can do, and he said, "You guys know what I can do at any given time." And they started chanting "Still the show," and I gotta say, you know what? I've hated a little bit on this guy Dolph in the past, but I'm waiting. Show it. Let's see. You still show one more. Do you still got it in you? Still to show a Braun Breaker, and hands down, I will say you are a Hall of Famer. Obviously, I think he is already, but I will crown you that night and say, you know what? You done it at NXT too. You've done it everywhere I've seen you. He's a legend. But we just said that he's just a better Billy Gunn a week ago.
He is. He's absolutely a better Billy Gunn. He's a better Billy Gunn than Billy Gunn's at Billy Gunn.
That's what we're saying.
He's an ass man.
Do you want to be but at the end of the day, do you want to be a Billy Gunn? Or do you want to be, Shawn Michaels? He didn't live up to that.
I mean, listen.
I don't know.
Dolph Ziggler had the ability to capture, or did capture, right? Dolph was there to be quote unquote Shawn or walking that elk, but the thing that compares him to Shawn is his motor and his showmanship to the craft of working, right? Because a lot of people, we talked about it on the Reasonable Debate, right? Shawn kind of, that showmanship, he elevated that. He made that into what is again part into the Dolph grew up watching the showmanship of the entertainment of HBK. I think Dolph's legend, right? And I wanted to talk about the Hall of Fame thing, but I'm gonna just real quick on the reasonable rant. I said it, but I'm gonna say it right here on the pod. Yes, we all know that there's not a criteria for the Hall of Fame other than the criteria of a or Vince fucks with you.
Yeah.
But Dolph Ziggler absolutely is 100% a Hall of Famer right now.
Absolutely, he's a Hall of Famer right now.
I think, and I think that
I'm saying, are you a better Billy Gunn or a worse Shawn Michaels? And I think that's where he sits as far as his style in the ring and his style in the
I think style in the ring,
and both of these guys are Hall of Famers, mind you.
But that's a great thing because listen, Billy could work his ass off.
Exactly.
Billy was a great worker. He was a great worker.
Yeah.
He just had no charisma at all. He was just a nice looking white guy, and that can pass you a whole lot of places. You feel me? But when he stood next to The Rock, and The Rock was also 6'5", and also he was 275, and The Rock can get on the microphone and just eviscerate that nigga, and all Billy Gunn could do was be like, "Huh?"
He's got it right. Yeah, you're right. Rock be having you think like, you know what? You're right. I do suck. The Rock is a legend.
Listen,
the Rock man.
Billy Gunn has lived in that creed ever since, nigga. He has sucked ever since. He has sucked ever since.
They call his kids the ass boys.
The ass boys.
On the show, AEW, they're like, oh, the ass boys are out here.
Because his pops is only known for being an ass.
Ooh,
not the gun club, but the ass.
No, I'm not gonna have you do this. Billy Gunn was one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. It was one of my favorites. The Famouser is a legendary finisher. Road Dogg, New Age Outlaws, incredible act.
Legendary tag team.
But we had to make him get our jokes up. It's just hilarious. but shout out to Dolph Ziggler. I think that he needed a fresh coat of paint, and that's exactly what he got going to NXT. I think that now it's time I get to see him be himself again, But if you're doing shit TV for a long period of time and losing, we forget about you. It's just human nature, And that's where I was with Dolph. It's like, all right, do I want to see the Dirty Dogs every week? No, I don't see them as I don't like the tag team. I don't. Maybe that's what they were going for as being heel tag team, but I don't think there was no chemistry really, in my opinion, as for what I saw, but him in NXT works as a singles act. I think that Dolph should have been a singles act for like past couple of months because they keep pairing him with people, whether it was Dirty Dogs or whether it was, just they keep pairing him with anybody, whether it be Cesaro or it be Biggie. He's always had somebody next to him.
Drew.
There you go. Yeah, that's the other guy I was thinking of. So just have him be a single star in NXT right now.
Shit. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's all I got. That's
all I got too. It's a wrap. We're checking out on SmackDown tomorrow. We'll see what goes down, and we'll get back to you next week. We will be in studio, so this is gonna be exclusive to Patreon. Sorry, guys, but you'll see the clips somewhere on the medias of socialness, and that is at RW Podcast 1, Reasonable Wrestling Podcast Instagram, Reasonable Wrestling Podcast Facebook, Reasonable Wrestling on YouTube. Thank you for joining us if you're watching this right now. And that's all there is for y'all today. Check out eiwshop.com for some merchandise. And all is love. Everything is wrestling. We're out this bitch.
Come on. Peace out. All right. I am Fry. Let me save this audio real quick. Episode 152. What are we naming this, John, bro?